Hello everyone, and welcome to Nourish Your Voice. My name is Mallory and I am the founder of reDiscover Your Voice, the host of this YouTube series. And next to me is Sarah Maclachlan, the kindness warrior.
Hello, I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yay! Hey everybody, so this is episode 2, and I just want to give a quick shout out to the amazing Take Root Creative. Our mutual friend, Caitlin Christoph Talon, owns this amazing company in Uxbridge, Ontario, and we are using her swanky boardroom. Just hold on a sec. Let me just... Insert promo here. Anyways, thank you so much to Caitlin and the Take Root Creative team for letting the Kindness Warrior and I take over today. So let's jump in, Sarah. I'm so excited that you're here. And let me just say that, I've been following Sarah. I learned about her through our friend Caitlin, and I've been following you on Instagram for a year now. And then when I reached out to you and you responded, I fangirl lost it. Okay, it was a little ridiculous, and I'm still. I just met her in person now, and I lost my. I lost it a little bit. You're so inspirational, and you're so focused on positivity and motivation, and that is something that is really lacking, unfortunately, especially in our generation. And so it's just so wonderful, the work that you are doing.
Thank you. It's a joy, and like I said, this business has created so many beautiful women, this community of amazing women, and so the constant interactions that I have with my community and meeting new people is just. It's such a joy. I love it.
Awesome. Good. Well, let's dive into learning more about Sarah here. So tell us about your journey that led you to the Kindness Warrior.
So I feel like I have always been hardwired for joy and positivity and kindness, and you've just witnessed me for the first time. And so
there's a ball of energy walking into this room.
I pretty much describe myself as a very happy, friendly puppy. Yeah. And so I feel like that is my base level. Not to say that I have had my own share of things and challenges in my life, but I feel like I am always going to be hopeful for humanity. I am hopeful for what I call my kindness warriors. So how this came about is I made a really big change in my life. I used to work in downtown Toronto and doing events and catering and hospitality. I grew up in an entrepreneurial family, so it runs deep for me, kind of being in service of others. And I love being in the service of others. And so then I was making a change in my career, and I found out I was expecting twins.
That's 2 at the same time. Holy crap.
Right. Someone always said to me, I think you didn't need one to really stop you in your tracks. You needed 2 to really show you, because you just weren't going to do it at one. I became a twin mom, and that was a total different experience for me. But in being in the service of others and doing this work, it can be very self-sacrificing. And I finally met my match of being fully self-sacrificing. It was nothing like having a kid to be oh, mom's gone.
Yep.
Everything's gone. I was just living in the purpose of my kids. And so about, 2.5 years into having them, I did make the choice of staying home with them.
Okay.
And I decided I needed to do something. I needed to come back to myself and kind of realign and say, what did I want to do next? I knew I couldn't do the work that I was doing before, so I needed to make a change. And so I fell into the world of self-development and started doing some growth work. And through books and things, I realized that I wanted to still be in the service of others, and it definitely needed to be, in the realm of service.
Yeah.
So in doing that, one day, it hit me, these 2 words came together. I was kind of well, who have I been all my life? And I was kind of trying around words, and the 2 words came together, which was kindness warrior. And I thought, that's it. It just resonated with me, right? Being passionate and an advocate and being strong and being who I am, to be, courageous to be yourself out but to be in service of kindness. Right? The hopeful, the sweetness, the gentle gift that kindness gives, but the warrior, which is strong and being that strong woman. Yeah. So they always say you create what you need the most. And so at first I started kindness warrior as just literally wanting to nourish and sharing love with others. Okay, so I was just doing that by sending inspiring notes online. I thought, well, if I can just be that one person that when you're scrolling and you're following me, that I pop up that one day and I say something that's really going to touch you, and you're oh, okay, cool, I can do this today, or I needed that today, then I was that was it.
Well, that is such an amazing thing that you did that. And I've been finding as I've been meeting with people who, even if they're specifically in an area like, I mean, I'm specifically in the music singing area or a health professional, people who started out with a business where it wasn't really a business, it was like just something they were doing to give back and to be positive. 100%. And then it spun into a money-making enterprise. Mm-hmm. And I think what makes it so successful and makes it such a wonderful, driven, and passionate thing is the fact that it started out to be just something kind, as opposed to something to earn you an income.
Yes.
Because you had already made the decision not to earn an income and to stay home. So then you're just doing this out of the goodness of your heart, and now it has spun into this whole thing.
It literally, so I love the word so much that I was like, you know what, that means so much to me. It resonated with me so much that I was like, I wanted to wear it. Yeah. I was like, I wanted to put it on a shirt.
Yes.
So that's what I did. I literally made a tank top. I designed it with my good friend, and I put it on a tank top, and I'll never forget the first day I wore it. I wore it to my first yoga class, and I was like, I felt so powerful.
Yes.
Like, I just felt like, yeah, that's me. And it was just really just to fulfill myself. And then after the end of the class, the yoga teacher was like, where did you get your shirt?
I was like, oh.
That's me. It's mine. And that's literally how it spiraled out of control, because I started realizing that the passion and the feeling and the hope for humanity and the spirit of kindness, which is so contagious.
Yes.
Others felt it too, and they wanted to wear the powerful of having that mantra on their shirt.
Speaking wearing things, we're just going to take a moment to show off the fact. So I've been wanting Kindness Warrior apparel for a while. It was on my birthday list in November. It was on my Christmas list. And did anyone buy me some? No. I even got mad at my friend Caitlin being like, hi, you know her, get me some. So finally, when I reached out to Sarah, I was like, I have to have something. Like, I can't do an interview with her and not. So of course I walk in wearing my one thing that says Courage Darling. And what does Sarah walk in wearing? We're twinsies! Oh my god! Yay! Anyways, you can get some amazing apparel. Obviously, I will post a link below for you to look at. Some really great stuff. I was about to buy a hoodie and you're out of my size.
I know!
I'm very excited though. But it's really motivational and it's beautiful quality. And I put this on and I feel like I usually put it on at the end of the day because it's like a slouchy tank top. And I put it on and I'm like, oh my god, I've had this busy day. I now have to go into mom mode. I'm just going to put on my Kindness Warrior shirt and everything will be okay. It's this whole mentality that came with a shirt that and it's so cool when you send it with all these little motivational card and it was this package and it was this feeling. It wasn't like, oh, I got a pretty pink tank top. It was, I just got a message and a hope and a thought. And that is such an important thing to be giving out to people.
Absolutely. It's a gift. And year one was literally just, I just wanted to share love. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna, and because people were really telling I have had the most gorgeous stories. I have stories of people meeting each other in other countries wearing it. I've had people connecting. So that's what I didn't expect. Wow. I didn't expect the community, and that was sort of year one. It was just me outpouring love. I was like, I got love to give, and I just want to share it. Second year was everyone started to connect with each other and this community started to happen, and I was like, oh my goodness, you're the most amazing, beautiful, wonderful women out there. You all need to know each other, and so that's what's sort of feeding this next level of kindness work. But it's such a joy.
That's so great. And so what does kindness mean to you? I know that's probably a question you get asked a lot, but I'm sure that a lot of people would probably answer that in a different way. So for Sarah, what does kindness mean?
Kindness is like a verb for me. It's an action. It's, because there's very different from being nice.
Yes.
And being kind.
For sure.
I feel like being nice, it's an external thing.
Well, it's like when your mom says to you, okay, go in, be nice, play nice. And that's really different from being kind. You're right. It is an action.
Yeah. It comes from a gift that I want to give. I find it very interesting because it's think about the last time that someone did something kind for you.
Okay.
Whether they're buying you something at, in the drive-thru or there's those sort of usual things. But think about really when you had your baby and your best friend came over and did your underwear in the laundry, or
time.
You know what I mean? That is love.
That is
right?
love and kindness for sure.
So that is the difference for me, is that I find that it's an action. It's something that is internal. It's that instinctual love that you can give someone else, and that's not always the case. You can choose to be kind, because that's the thing. I've had so many people that said to me, but I don't really feel kind all the time, Sarah. And I said, that's fine. You're a human. You have a range of emotions, and if anything, that's what kind of topics that we're talking about, which is to be true and to be you, you're not going to always be happy.
No.
And that's what I try to portray in my social media, the topics that we discuss, because even though you see me and I'm like this,
bubbly
thing,
redheaded
I have had my share. And so
course.
I believe that you really can't, like, to be the kindness that you are now, I know you've been through things.
Yeah.
I have known that you have run the gamut of emotions, and now when you do that, it's just the gift of love. So it's either instinctual or you're choosing. You're like, I'm going to choose to say something nice now. Or like, you know what I mean? Like your next thought with your next action. I always say my thing is choose again. Have the opportunity that, that didn't come out the way I did. Can I give you a hug? I'm sorry to your child.
Right.
Or like that is kindness to me. It's an action.
That's great. I love that description. That is, I'm going to think of it like a
Lots
verb
with underwear in the laundry. We're talking about everything today.
So the idea of choosing to be kind, that kind of leads us into some topics to relate to singers, obviously. So singers, I mean, like I think of my days at McGill where I spent all my time with the other singers in my year, and you don't really think about the fact that when you graduate, like those other 3 sopranos in my year are my direct competition.
Yes.
And then it's not just them. It's going to be every other singer at every other university in North America and then in Europe. And so we form these friendships as singers, and then we have to compete against those very people. And I'm wondering if you could give some advice to the reDiscover Your Voice fans about how to stay grounded in who you are and how to continue to thrive and give kindness in a competitive industry.
I think that was one of the greatest lessons for me to learn, because what I realized was I sort of, up until when I've been doing the work now, is that I was doing service not knowingly, but there was an external motivation. And so I think when we're doing things like comparison, when we have feelings of judgment, I find like these little things are like juicy little flags, even though they do not feel very good. Yeah. They give you the opportunity to be like, there's a feeling here. What is it? Is it judgment? Is it comparison? Yeah. Is it competition? Is it, like what are these feelings that are coming up? They kind of give you a flag, because then you can identify it. And generally it's linked to, I'm not worthy enough, I'm not enough, that kind of thing. And so kind of equating that to service is that you can become an addict of service because you're always constantly looking for affirmation. You're looking that you think that next win or that next role is going to be success. Like, I'm going to be okay until I get to that next point.
Exactly.
But oftentimes we'll get to that point and then we got that role and it's not
enough. Exactly. I hear that from so many of my friends who are singers, where whether they're professional or non-professional singers who are going out there auditioning, trying to build up whatever their big goal is as a singer, and then they get it and it's like, oh. Like I've had this a lot, so I've done some community theater and I've had friends be like, this is my dream role, I just got it, this is going to be amazing. And then when the show ends, it's like they have no direction. They have no idea what to do because they've achieved this goal, but now what? What do I do? And there's this immediate letdown and this immediate sense of, well, what do I do? Oh, I'm not good enough to do anything else. And immediately all those negative emotions start to spiral. And then you really see it, I mean, in competition. I mean, every singer, whether professional or non-professional, you're constantly having to compete and having to get jobs and or audition for roles or whatever you're doing. And I mean, that constant sense of competition, I mean, competition is not positive. I don't even like when people say healthy competition. I'm like, this isn't a positive thing. And competition is so ingrained in us as a society. Like, one of the ways that I get my daughter to get dressed is I make it a competition. I make it like a game, like who's gonna do it fastest, like and like that seems light and easy and fine, but actually I'm creating this baseline of competition in her. And when I was thinking about the questions for today, I started reflecting on how I use competition in my daily life, and that came up, the fact that like that's something that we do. And I feel like probably lots of people do that with their kids and use competition in other ways. You know, even at workplaces, they'll have a competition. Who can sell this much product? Who can do this? Who can do that? Who can complete this job faster? And it's supposed to, foster a healthy work environment is the phrase they use, but is it also just allowing people who lose to feel let down? And I know that, a lot of times we say it's not about winning, it's about trying your hardest, which is true, but we're also hardwired to want to achieve, to want to be the best, to want to win. Yes. And for singers, where like our ego especially is so tied in with this amazing thing that we're all able to do, and then it's like, well, what do you do if you aren't successful? And I remember I went through that where when I was in the professional industry, where I realized I'm not going to be successful. That's actually not going to happen. And I was able to work through that. But I know tons of people that don't. Tons of people that are still fighting the good fight. Some that look like they want to fight it, and some that really look like they don't, but they don't know what else to do because they are so tied to this one identity in their life.
Yes.
And I mean, would you say that part of your journey was also finding multiple ways to show kindness, to bring joy in your life? Like, so you're not just tied to one happy goal, one happy thing. I mean, is that something that you worked on as well?
Agreed. Like, for me, what I've now realized is I grew up in a business. Like, literally, my house was our business. We had a restaurant in our house.
Oh,
and
wow.
So I grew up in a family business.
Right.
So in terms of that, like, it's not hard to then equate doing, being in service, as that's my value.
Right. Yes. So singers,
Right?
like, this is the only thing I have. This is my core identity.
Yes.
Mhm.
So I challenge you. I challenge you to ask yourself, what is my value? How am I a value if you're not striving, achieving, doing? What is your value?
Yeah.
Because at some point, and can lead back to the competition thing, at some point when you come back to that and you are really standing firm and core in what your value is, when you are not striving, achieving, working, and this is what the work that I've done, because I thought that being of service was a good thing. It is a good thing. It's like, but it can be your kryptonite when you're constantly striving, achieving, and doing something. When I get that, it's going to happen.
Right.
But now when I'm standing in my own value, which is my value is just being me. I love humanity. I love people. Like, that is the joy that I give, is the presence of me. And so I don't have to strive. I don't have to achieve. I don't have to do anything to do that anymore. Now I can look at other people who maybe be my direct comparison, and I'm like, I can feel love. I can feel gratitude. I can feel appreciation. I'm like, when they're rising, I'm like, yes, you go. I can do that now, though, because I'm full of my own value.
Yes.
My value is not attached to other people succeeding or success in general. I do believe, like, I have a lot of compassion for this industry, because you are constantly faced with people telling you if you're good enough.
Yeah.
For them. But it's for them,
It's
for
never
that
for
role,
you. Yeah.
for that particular thing. If you are living in your value and really realizing what is your gift to give without the attachment of an outcome, I wonder if going to your next, if you can just give it from that value of, like, I'm just here to give. I just wonder how much of a different experience that might be.
And I as a personal thing, I mean, it took me having a vocal hemorrhage, excuse me, and not being able to sing or speak to go through that journey where I'm like, I remember sitting there, I remember sitting there thinking, okay, what if I never sing again? Which for those 2 months was a total possibility. And thinking, what am I?
Yes.
I don't know. I just spent like so much money learning how to sing for the past 15 years. And what am I now? I'm nothing. I have nothing. And what it took me to realize, as I got married then, I had a kid, and as I was trying to get back into the industry in some way, it took me to realize that, this hemorrhage did something. I was never going to be a professional singer, and I knew that. But what the hemorrhage did is it taught me what type of a singer I'm supposed to be, what I'm supposed to sound like, what my true voice is, and what my true calling is. And it led me to reDiscover Your Voice, which was an amazing thing. I can't imagine having done this, having been so open about talking about something that 6 years ago was so remarkably shameful for me. And so I think the thing that sometimes I really think about with reDiscover Your Voice is the idea that, will I and will this company be able to get to people, shall I say, in time, not before they have a vocal cord injury, but will we get to them in time to be like, look, there is so much more to you than just singing.
Yes.
And if you're happy in all those other areas, that's actually just going to feed and fuel your true voice and make you the best singer that you can be, whether that's a star on Broadway or singing at the Met or selling out some big stadium tour. I mean, whatever type of singer you are, you've got to be this well-rounded, happy individual to be able to do your craft properly.